Listen to Sergio Sanchez every morning on News Talk 710 KURV and on the Radio Parami app. Stay informed with exclusive interviews from top local and state leaders, plus economic development news, business, and medical reports, and all the local news from the RGV. It's everything you need to know to start your day right. Sergio Sanchez and News Talk 710 KURV on the free Radio Parami app. Download it now.
Requirements and spending.
The bill funds the president's agenda from border security to tax cuts. Democrats warn Republican Medicaid cuts will take some Americans' health coverage away. Former President Biden has just thanked everyone in a post on X for wishing him well as he now fights cancer.
He was diagnosed with prostate cancer characterized by a Gleason score of 9 with metastasis to the bone. While this represents a more aggressive form of the disease, the cancer appears to be hormone sensitive, which allows for effective management.
Fox's Peter Doocy at the White House. Israel has issued an evacuation order for Palestinians in Gaza's second largest city after more deadly airstrikes over the weekend targeting Hamas. Israel is also allowing food deliveries again after a blockade.
Aid groups say that's put the territory's 2 million plus residents at risk of famine. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu now says his forces will allow a basic quantity of food to be brought in to prevent a starvation crisis. He's previously accused Hamas militants of intercepting and taking humanitarian provisions.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. There's a $20,000 reward in the manhunt for 7 escaped prisoners in Louisiana who broke out of the Orleans Justice Center Friday.
The fugitives broke out through a hole they created in the wall hidden behind a jail cell toilet. Very Shawshank, right? Some of the 7 remaining escapees are facing murder charges for their previous crimes.
Fox's Todd Pyro. 3 others were recaptured Friday. America's listening to
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
They told us nothing but lies.
These timeshare thieves out there are terrible.
They bullied us.
Our timeshare is all a scam.
They stole from us. They were thieves.
I was completely taken advantage of.
Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group, and I know the tough spot you're in. Are you asking yourself, why did I buy that timeshare? I'll tell you why, because that presentation wasn't a normal sales pitch. It was a show to convince you that timeshare is a great investment. They told you it was available today and today only. They said you're foolish if you don't buy, and unfortunately, you believed them. We get over 3,000 complaints a week from folks just like you that were misled into buying a timeshare. Give us a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-881-4242. 800-881-4242. 800-881-4242. News.
In a few hours, President Trump will have a phone call with Russian leader Vladimir Putin. And then later, he'll talk to Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky, continuing to push for a ceasefire. Special U.S. Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff tells ABC's This Week.
They know each other. The president is determined to get something done here. And hopefully, if he can't do it, then nobody can.
We're learning more about a bombing in California over the weekend outside a fertility clinic.
FBI officials say 25-year-old Guy Edward Marcus, who was killed in Saturday's apparent car bombing, left behind a disturbing online manifesto that seemed to express his view that people should not continue to procreate. Investigators are calling the bombing of the American Reproductive Center's clinic in Palm Springs a, quote, targeted attack of terrorism. 4 people were hurt in the blast, which a senior FBI official called possibly the largest bombing scene we've had in Southern California. Bartkus's father told KTLA-TV that he had not seen his son in more than a decade. He described his son as a follower, easily influenced by others, and that he had burned down the family home when he was 9. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stocks could drop at the opening bell. Dow futures down more than 200 points after Friday's U.S. credit rating downgrade by Moody's. Scottie Scheffler has won his 3rd golf major tournament, the PGA Championship, and Scheffler won it easily, 5 strokes ahead of second place at Quail Hollow in North Carolina. In the NBA playoffs,
well, the dreams of a title for the Thunder are still alive. OKC is going to the conference finals.
The final call on ABC after the West's top seed, Oklahoma City, dominated Denver 125-93 in a Game 7 to advance to play Minnesota. There was also a Game 7 blowout on ice. The defending champion Florida Panthers beat Toronto 6-1, advancing to face Carolina in the NHL's Eastern Conference Final. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
News Talk 710 KURV, broadcasting from the Valley's all-American truck headquarters studio at PayneAutomall.com.
Monday edition of the Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV, May 19th, 2025. Thank you for waking up with News Talk 710 KURV. You can also find us at Radio Para Mi. Download the free app. Show producer Fred Cruz. We got AccuWeather meteorologist Jeffrey Nordine on standby. I think he's going to throttle back on the temperatures just a little bit sometime midweek. In fact, there was an interesting mention of some aggressive weather on Wednesday. Brought the word hail back to the forecast for Wednesday. Freddie doesn't have to worry about that because he's going to be off the clock, right? All right. A Rio Grande Valley school superintendent facing DWI charges. The Texas Department of Public Safety saying that Benjamin Alexander Clinton was pulled over for a traffic violation on State 100 on Friday evening, later charged with driving while intoxicated and released on bond. A Mercedes School District's spokesperson saying the district board will discuss the arrest privately during a regular meeting scheduled for this week. Up in Austin, a Senate bill advancing through the legislature could affect illegal immigrant children attending public schools and universities in Texas. If passed, the legislation would strip undocumented students of their eligibility for in-state tuition rates. Those who have been granted in-state tuition would be required to pay the difference to the out-of-state rate if the residency application is denied. The state of Texas might soon see a huge financial windfall.
Congress could be voting this week on President Trump's one big, beautiful budget bill. Texas lawmakers want to add language that would reimburse the state some $11 billion that was spent securing the border during the Biden administration.
It's not in there yet, but it better be in there.
Congressman Tony Gonzalez says there is support from House leadership. He's joined by Senator John Cornyn, who says he will vote no on any bill that does not include the cash.
Senator Ted Cruz is standing with President Trump over the administration's push to end birthright citizenship.
Senator Cruz calls birthright citizenship terrible policy, saying illegal immigrants who are pregnant will cross the border and give birth knowing their children will be U.S. citizens. He also said there is something called birth tourism, where people from foreign countries visit the U.S. when a woman is pregnant to give birth. He specifically called out China when speaking to Fox News. Cruz has filed legislation in the Senate to end the policy. The administration argued their points before the Supreme Court this week.
There are more than 1,000 confirmed cases of measles over 30 states since the outbreak started in Texas back in January.
It's not far behind the more than 1,270 cases recorded in 2019. It's only the second time there have been that many cases in 3 decades. Texas is still ground zero for the outbreak, with more than 700 cases reported, according to the Centers for Disease Control. 3 people have died, including 2 children. Nearly all of the cases are among those who weren't vaccinated or whose vaccination status is unknown. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
And according to an industry watcher, we'll tell you this one after AccuWeather. According to an industry watcher, how many folks have throttled back on going to the salon? And the reason why? Well, I guess we can all guess the reason why, but how many folks are not going to the salon? It is AccuWeather time. And I want to say thank you to Dougie and all the gang at Martin Farm and Ranch providing us 7 o'clock AccuWeather. Yeah. Going to be a scorcher, already a scorcher. So make sure that your cattle have Purina liquid feed. See Dougie at Martin Farm and Ranch, certified dealer for Purina feed and Purina liquid feed. AccuWeather meteorologist Jeffrey Nordine joining us. And I heard the forecast you sent down earlier this morning. And by Wednesday, it might get interesting again. So we know it's going to be hot today and tomorrow. So tell me what might happen midweek if it plays out.
Yeah, in the afternoon, we'll be looking at just a couple thunderstorms to push through. Not much rain is going to be accompanied with it unless there's some downpours, but we could see some gusty winds and small hail. Not anticipating it to be in the severe limit, meaning, 58 miles per hour or higher, and hail of about a quarter size or larger. But nonetheless, there could be wind gusts around 35 to 45.
So is that the tail end of another cool front just north of us, or what's going on?
Looking at the weather maps coming up on Wednesday, it is a cool front. So the main system is actually quite large. It's almost like a boomerang, if you can picture that, from Minnesota curving east towards Virginia and then all the way back to South Texas. So it's quite a large system, and we'll have to see how bad it gets in the next 48 hours with the next update or the future updates.
Okay, so does it, I don't know, relatively speaking, cool us down? We'll be in the 60s overnight and then like in the upper 80s, low 90s after that, or what?
Not quite the 60s, but we'll be in the low to upper 70s for sure. And then as far as highs go, it's going to be lower. So we're, sitting in the mid to upper 90s, low 100s today and tomorrow. I would even extend it into Wednesday potentially. We still could get to the triple digits. Thursday, though, we're looking at mid to upper 80s, low 90s. And that could stick around on Friday and even Saturday before it gets back to triple digit territory.
Okay, so the best we can hope for is maybe upper 80s by Thursday, Friday, but nothing like in the upper 60s by.
Right. Yeah, the 60s, I think, for now is done.
Okay. So if it's that interesting for us on Wednesday, then what? Dallas is full of hail and thunderstorms and all that, like on Tuesday before it hits.
No, even today. So Dallas is going to be under it today into tonight, and then tomorrow and Wednesday, even Thursday, are dry. Houston will be dry up through Thursday. That's when they could see some thunder showers, and then San Antonio could see some of the stronger storms today, but it's very, I guess, for lack of a better term, spotty. And then tomorrow and Wednesday, dry. Thursday, a possible thunder shower. So really, the energy is kept to the south for Thursday.
All right, Bill. That's AccuWeather meteorologist Jeffrey Nordine. Today, we recognize all those techs and assistants to put concerts and events together. We see ours just walking right out the door right now, headed over to Jake Gonzalez HQ in Edinburgh for an event coming up at 9 o'clock. It's National Roadie Day. That's those technicians.
Oh.
Yeah. And we celebrate them by giving them a slice of Devil's Food Cake, because it's also that day.
I've never had that. I've had angel, food cake, but I've never had the devil's.
Yes. No, don't. That's it. We rebuke that thought. Just stay with the angel food cake. Yeah. You'll be better for eternity if you do that. All right. Thank you, Jeffy. That's AccuWeather meteorologist Jeffrey Nordine on 710 KURV. So as I mentioned before, the AccuWeather forecast, it seems that many of y'all are not going back to the salon because of rising cost of everything. That, according to a report that's watching the industry, found that more than 40% of typical salon customers are going less, relying on home treatments. Is that how you're dyeing your hair, Freddie? Is it like the home treatment thing, like just for men? Is that thing? Well, there you go. More money in your pocket, Freddie. You don't have to worry about this. Oh, really? No. Okay. Let's see here. I know you were wearing guy liner, like a rock star back in the day. Yeah. Let's see. 40% of typical salon customers are going less, and nearly a quarter. Wow, that's a lot. Imagine being a hairdresser or a salon owner and you lose 25% of your business. Wow, nearly a quarter have stopped altogether. And yes, they're trying to save money. That's the reason. Latest numbers from Texas showing 18 individuals were injured in Texas during hunting accidents.
There was only one hunting fatality reported during the last year in Texas, and officials say that and the 18 injuries all were preventable. One hunter fired a shot outside his safe zone and hit his partner. Another left a loaded gun hanging in a tree, and it went off, wounding the hunter. Back in 1968, Texas had 37 fatal hunting accidents. Since then, mandatory hunter education has helped bring that number way down.
The White House saying that they are in talks with Walmart after the retail giant said that it would soon raise prices because of tariffs.
On NBC's Meet the Press, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says he's spoken to Walmart's CEO.
Walmart is, in fact, going to, as you describe it, eat some of the tariffs.
On Saturday, President Trump posted on social media that Walmart should stop trying to blame tariffs as the reason for raising prices. Walmart CFO said the retailer will try to work with suppliers to keep prices as low as they can. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
And Freddie, you'll be limited in how much gold you can purchase now. Yeah, Costco limiting the amount of gold bars that a member can buy. The Costco website saying the limit is one transaction per member with a maximum of 2 units per 24 hours. I think in order to buy gold, you need to be a member to begin with. I think you need to work on that. Well, there we go. Yeah. Get enough money to buy. What was it, like $3,000, $3,500 an ounce, something like that? Oof, my goodness. It went up by more than a third recently. Conversation with the director of the Rio Grande Valley Port of Brownsville. We got jobs all over the place, expansion of operations left and right, LNG, steel, and then some. That's next on the Valley's Morning News.
Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic, available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or at your local CVS.
At Rivetta's Machinery in Donna, they're bringing the best deals on Coyote equipment to your job site, your farm, or your backyard. Right now, take advantage of 0% interest or up to $6,000 cash back on Coyote track loaders and skid steers. These are machines built for maximum performance no matter the task. But don't stop there. They're also offering fantastic savings on Coyote tractors, zero-turn mowers, and utility vehicles. And whether you're hauling something, mowing, tackling other big jobs, Coyote has the equipment to help you get it done. If you're looking for great deals and great service from a team that treats you like family, look no further than Rivetta's Machinery and Coyote. Start your next project right. Visit Rivetta's Machinery in Donna or browse their deals when it suits you at mynewtractor.com. That's their website, mynewtractor.com. Rivetta's for the long haul. See dealer for full details.
Brian Kilmeade here. After my show, weekday afternoons at 2, stay tuned for the 956 Drive Home with Zach and Davis starting at 4 on News Talk 710 KURV and KURV.com.
News Talk 710 KURV is your one and only radio station in the Valley for Houston Astros play-by-play. So they're on the road against Tampa Bay. We will join the broadcast, the Astros broadcast, right after the Drive Home with Zach and Davis. 6 p.m., right after the 956 Drive Home. Astros baseball made possible this season by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women and the Mission Economic Development Office. Let's go to the economic engine of the RGV economy. You listen long enough to KURV, you know where that is. That's the Rio Grande Valley Port of Brownsville. And my friend, Director William Dietrich, joining us at the moment. And let's get the big news out of the way. We've been mentioning this on and off for several days now. The LNG project that was under court challenge cleared at appellate court. We're done. And they never stopped, right, William? They just kept on building and building and building. So any threat to remove, take away their hard fought for, very expensive permits, not going to happen. We're plowing forward. So how big is the project, this first project, this $18 billion liquefied natural gas project at the port? How big is it right now as far as employment, and how much bigger might it be in your future?
Well, employment right now, we're almost up to 3,000 people working on the site. By this time next year, we should be over 4,000. Like you said, it's a massive project. It's unbelievable when you get out there to the site. They're at trains 1 and 2, and as of March 25th, engineering is at 87.9% complete. Procurement is at 76.3% complete, and construction is at 14.1%. And what that does is that culminates an overall progress of 42.8% for these trains associated with the common facility. Train 3 progress is at 17.8%, engineering at 41.9%, and procurement at 37.2%. And the construction is at 0.8%. So at that point there, now we're working in the infrastructure development, and significant advancements have been made, which include the construction of the LNG storage tanks, installation and gas pipes, developments of the jetties, and the erection of the structural steel. So this is moving along great. Train 4, NextDecade has secured a 24-year LNG supply agreement totaling 4.6 million tons per year. And, we're looking at, say, for example, everything goes well, which it is. The first LNG exports from the Rio Grande Valley facility are projected in September of 2027.
Oh man, they'll be here before you know it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say like maybe 5-7 years down the road. No, that's relatively speaking, that's just around the corner. I mean, we're halfway.
When you look at the complexity of a project like this, and they come to the point right now, we're right around the corner, Sergio. And I mean, we're going to have an LNG ship come in here, offtake and deliver energy to a foreign land somewhere. This is fabulous.
That's amazing. William Dietrich, Director of Rio Grande Valley, Port of Brownsville. Just a quick sidebar question. We're still in the Valley, still building ships, right, that are LNG powered, or what's the status of that? I remember that you and I used to talk about that quite a bit.
Yeah, Cetrium Ampels has done that. They've built 3 ships. They've built some wind blade carriers and some different products like that. But definitely, we do have the skill set, and Cetrium has proven that they can do it.
Okay, can we get some more near future, more contracts to build ships?
I really believe so. I think right now with what's going on in the at the federal level, there's a big push right now for American shipbuilding. When you look at the entire fleet out there, 60% of the entire fleet is Chinese. And if by 2035, if we don't start entering that market, 85% of all ships, cargo ships, are going to be Chinese flagged, Chinese built vessels. So, we're definitely excited about the administration's push to bring shipbuilding back to the United States, and let's get busy again.
Let's go back to NextDecade, and a good thing that they're plowing forward with the construction. There's a second LNG down the road. Last conversation you and I had, I think they had a complete client list already. We're just waiting on final investment decision. You getting any indication on when they might make that final investment decision, the FID, go ahead and commit and start building around here?
Yeah, well, definitely. We had a conversation with them. I think it was about a week ago. They brought in their contractor, so that's always a good sign. When they're out there, they're doing the engineering, they're moving forward. Now, FID, they haven't given us a positive date, but it's hopeful by the third quarter of this year.
Okay. Most of the clients for all this LNG, that's Europe, right?
Well, Europe, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Definitely there's been a void of energy in Europe, and we understand how that occurred. There's geopolitical issues with the Nord Stream pipeline from Russia being destroyed. So right now, Europe is in a rush to fill their energy needs, and it looks like that we are in a good position to be able to provide that for quite a while. So geopolitically, it makes the port very strong and makes it an area that of national interest, and it's definitely positive for us.
William Dietrich, Director of the Rio Grande Valley Port of Brownsville, and as you mentioned, American manufacturing very popular again, and advantage us, I would say, with all the steel product that's being developed here. Yes, for the northern portion of Mexico, but man, I would imagine that folks that are involved in steel production at the port might be getting a few new customers near future. So what do you hear?
Definitely, steel production and the raw materials to make steel, we will probably see an increase in the feedstock for that. So, it's always been our long-term goal to bring a steel mill to Brownsville to be able to produce steel. And, it's the value-added concept. Instead of bringing steel in and transporting it somewhere else, we would like to be able to manufacture it from A to Z and add value to every process, and keeping that money here in the Rio Grande Valley. Also, that provides long-term sustainable jobs for the region.
All right. So tell me, give me an update on Forza, for example, some of the steel.
Sure.
Yeah.
Definitely Forza, a little background on Forza. 150 jobs, 450 indirect jobs. Additionally, Forza Steel has initiated its second phase of investment last year. They are looking into probably finishing up and getting to the point where they're already hiring personnel and start manufacturing probably at the end of the year.
What do they specifically? What do they manufacture, and how many more jobs we're looking at? You know,
we're looking at, what specifically what they manufacture. They do a lot of the steel coils, a lot of the steel beams and things like that for solar projects. So it's a, and they do have the ability to pivot to the market need.
Ternium. Tell me about that project.
Ternium. Ternium's moving forward right now. Now there was a little scare out there with the recent with the administration contemplating putting high fines on Chinese ships that were going to come in, but it seems like to me that is cleared up right now for the moment. But Ternium is moving forward on their engineering, on their docking. We are working real close with the rail Omnitrax to make sure that we can insert that rail in a timely fashion and get going. And they're looking at probably being complete by the end of 27 also.
The product, raw materials, tell me about the operation we're looking at as far as the Ternium expansion, which is, as I saw on your newsletter, Port Matters, that was quite the impressive report that you listed a few days back.
Yeah, definitely. And with the Ternium site, really what their fundamental purpose is going to be is to bring in feedstock, scrap metal, iron ore, minerals, all the components of the steel industry, and be able to take advantage of the maritime component here, bring it in, and be able to ship it to the Pesqueria site in Monterrey.
Mm-hmm. Rioplex, you and I had a chance to talk a little bit as Joaquin Spamer and local county judges, top mayors, everybody had a chance to speak with a whole bunch of these folks that represented different countries and potentially different investors that we hope discover the valley. That's the whole idea. We have to go on offense and sell the valley because we don't have the name recognition of Houston and Dallas and things like that, but we have the assets and we have the ports, airport and seaport, a spaceport, all these things, and the people, the colleges, the land, everything that's needed, including the industrial parks. I just want to get your thoughts on this new initiative that combines the private sector with Joaquin Spamer and other industrialists and the EDC folks and government to move at the speed of business, not the speed of government when it comes to recruitment of all this industry that is coming to the U.S. And we hope it lands in the valley and they listen to us and land in the valley where the smart money can land here in South Texas.
Yeah, definitely. And I like what you say when you say the speed of business. Yeah. We have to move at the speed of business. The Rioplex initiative, it aims to boost development in the Rio Grande Valley by uniting Texans with northern Tamaulipas and the rest of the state. Sometimes when we look at the Rio Grande Valley, we try to look at just Brownsville or we try to just look at Edinburgh, but we did not before paint the better picture. When we are connected to Reynosa, Matamoros, all the experience in advanced manufacturing. Now, what Rioplex has done for us is we've been able to collect data and information for when site selectors come down here. We paint the proper picture, the right picture. The Department of Labor Statistics doesn't do us well because all they're calculating is what's on this side of the border.
Yeah,
it's one of the biggest misunderstandings that we have to take time and explain to site selectors coming in that, in Brownsville, we got 100,000 people coming into the city a day. I'm sure up in McAllen, it's a lot more. These are like Super Bowl size events every day of people coming over, working in our industries. And, they're American citizens or allowed to be here, legally. And that's a great force multiplier for us. So Rioplex helps us put that in a shell and in a marketing tool so that it's verifiable to your tier 1, tier 2 industries that are coming in looking to, develop a workforce and produce a product here.
To inform. And of course, our Port of Brownsville is a lead asset in hoping that we can lure some of this industry down here with 40,000 some odd acres. I was told that already we could develop into something. Of course, the industrial park and more assets on the way, more cranes and machines that can host some of these ships. Yeah, we got consumers and the workers and the colleges and manufacturing capacity in a unified market as a region, South Texas and northern Mexico. I'll give you the final word. Go ahead, Willie.
Final word is we've been talking about it for about a year and a half. We have completed the industrial park. The industrial park is complete right now. We are open for any appointments. Anybody who wants to come down and look at it. It is definitely a unique location due to the fact that it's right next to the channel. And we are looking forward to bringing in prospects and locating businesses here at our business park.
Appreciate your time, my friend. We'll keep up with you as often as we can and get an update. And as I encourage folks, and I appreciate you allowing us to message on behalf of the port, look for their website, portofbrownsville.com. As I say in the messages, portofbrownsville.com. And sign up for the free newsletter, get that monthly report. And breaking news, as soon as we find out about that second LNG, it will be breaking news. You'll find it there.
You'll be the first to know, Sergio. You will be the first to know.
Bless you, my brother. William Dietrich is Director, Rio Grande Valley, Port of Brownsville. Be well.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you. You're in tune with the Valley's Morning News. News Talk 710 KURV, home to the Astros. We got the Astros tonight. Right after the drive home with Zach and Davis. The 956 drive home, 4 to 6. At 6 p.m., we flip the switch, go to the Astros. They'll be in Tampa Bay. Thank you to our many supporters, including the Mission Economic Development Corporation. If you need to purchase a home or sell a home, I have the right team, the only team that I'm trusting to buy or sell a home, the Ryan and Brian Real Estate Team. When you have to move, sometimes you don't have that much time to wait. Life is calling. It's a career, a family issue. Got to go. If that's you, the Ryan and Brian Real Estate Team are the perfect team for you. They'll make sure that you can move on your timeline. And they're guaranteeing that they can sell your home at a price and a deadline that you guys, when you sit down initially, you talk about this, you agree on all that, the price and the deadline. If that home does not sell, they'll buy themselves. That they are that awesome. Had a couple here in Edinburgh who worked with Jessica from the Ryan and Brian Real Estate Team. They had a hard deadline. They needed their home sold within 90 days, and the Ryan and Brian Real Estate Team guarantee made it very easy. They didn't have to worry about anything. So the Ryan and Brian marketing system reaches thousands of potential home buyers every day, and they're selling homes fast, as they always do, routinely do. That's the Ryan and Brian team. And they sell for the most money possible and help Jessica sell this couple's home in just under a little more than 1 month. Man, they had a lot of time left over to just prepare for everything else that they needed to do. That's the Ryan and Brian Real Estate Team difference. Here's the number to call, 956-540-2536. The website, ryanandbrian.com. That's ryanandbrian.com.
If you're selling your home, don't be trying. Call Ryan and Brian. Go to ryanandbrian.com.
Improve your overall health and enjoy a better quality of life with Dr. T's Primary Care. You're trying to set some new weight goals. If you're too moody or stressed out or just tired and trying to get more sleep, Dr. T's Primary Care can help you with all of that and more. If you're worried about things like low testosterone, Dr. T is a primary care provider from the sniffles to the flu and also offer menopause treatment, peptide treatment, and IV vitamin infusions. McAllen area, call 956-803-0058 and in Harlingen, 956-368-5247. That's drtsprimary.care.com.
Tune in later tonight as your Houston Astros visit the Tampa Bay Rays. First pitch at 6:05. Powered by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women, Mission Economic Development Corporation, and News Talk 710 KURV.
The 710 KURV Sports Desk is brought to you by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women.
I'm Kevin Walker with your TSN Sports Minute.
Tosses in off the chest of Hellebuck. Played to the corner by Pioch. Circling that second to Harley.
The Dallas Stars defeated the Winnipeg Jets in Game 6 Saturday night and have officially clinched their spot in the Western Conference Finals against the, you guessed it, Edmonton Oilers. Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Stuart Skinner, and co. will face off with the good guys after the Oilers bested the Stars in the conference finals last year in Game 6, winning 3 straight. It'll be all 7 o'clock slates with the series beginning Wednesday night, and the Stars will maintain home ice advantage the entirety of the series. A split set at home for the Texas Rangers after they fell 4-3 last night to the Houston Astros, despite a monstrous pitching performance by Jack Leiter. Texas will get a day off today, but immediately turn to the second-best team in the American League as they play guests in the Bronx against the New York Yankees. Patrick Corbin will get things started against Will Warren with first pitch set for 6:05 tomorrow night. With your TSN Sports Minute, I'm Kevin Walker.
The Thunder heading to the West Finals for the first time since 2016 after destroying the Nuggets 125-93 in Game 7. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander led all scorers with 35, says it was a big moment.
I was nervous, to be honest, just knowing what's on the line. We've worked so hard the whole 82-game season. We've all worked so hard in the summer. And to know if you don't bring your A game, it could all be over with, all for nothing.
Game 1 Tuesday against the Timberwolves in OKC. On the ice, the Panthers knocked out the Maple Leafs to advance to the East Finals. In a date with the Hurricanes, the Leafs haven't advanced past the second round since 2002. Scotty Scheffler finished atop the leaderboard at 11 under to win the PGA Championship in Charlotte. The Brewers beat the Twins to avoid the sweep and end Minnesota's 13-game winning streak. That's sports. I'm Ron Tomas.
AccuWeather says highs today should be in the low 100s, Western Valley, triple digits, Mid-Valley, 95 at the coast, southeast winds up to 25. And right now, it's low 80s across South Texas. Right here at Newstalk 710 KURV HQ in Mission, we're at 82 degrees. Porter Bridge wait times is posted on KURV.com. Let's see if they've updated the McAllen numbers. Yes, they have. So it's about 30 minutes at the Far Bridge, headed back to McAllen. And for Brownsville, it's an hour. Last we checked was an hour at Gateway and 30 minutes at B&N. Business news, check of your money. That's next on 710 KURV, the Valley's Morning News.
Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or at your local CVS.
I was reflecting on this issue, the economy here in South Texas, the realities of life in South Texas the other day with my son. And I said, it wasn't always like this with the SpaceX and rockets, launching into space, and this, all these operations at the port, all this great news of thousands of jobs at the Rio Grande Valley Port of Brownsville. It's wonderful to live in South Texas. Texas is a jobs magnet, an industrial and company magnet. All these companies coming to Texas. And here in the Rio Grande Valley, we're capturing a lot of this as well. And the center point, the engine of the economy for South Texas is our port. And I invite you, as an information-minded individual, you love talk radio, you listen all the time, see what's going on in the world, what's taking place in Texas, legislature, let me see what's going on. Go to the website, portofbrownsville.com, sign up for the free newsletter, and all this amazing news with steel product and ship building and dismantling, and of course, liquefied natural gas, the thousands of jobs there. Another one on the way, another LNG thing. Yeah, you'll be the first to know. portofbrownsville.com and sign up for the free newsletter.
Hi there, my name is Tony Bolstead. My wife and I, Carol, own Sand Monsters. We'd like you to come on out and have fun. We've got a half-mile long track out here. It runs across about 3.5 acres. Have adult cars and kid cars, getting laps in, learning how to drive on the sand. And we also lease space to Redline Helicopters is one of our tenants here, and they've got a pad and they do helicopter tours. Lone Star National Bank and the team there really helped us get this thing put together, answered all our questions, huge help.
I am Stephanie Harrison. I am the second generation owner of Sisters Interiors on South Padre Island. We had always dreamed of owning our own land and owning our own building, using our design team to create what you see here today. That's how we got involved with Lone Star National Bank. We partnered with them and they helped us, create the dream.
Audio streaming on KURV.com. Powered by South Texas Buick GMC, McAllen Mission.
I'm Nicole Murray with Your Money Now. China's Xiaomi will launch its highly anticipated YU7 electric sports utility vehicle on Thursday, as well as other products such as the mobile chip developed by the company. Analysts have touted the YU7 as a challenger to Tesla's best-selling Model Y in China. Qatar Airways said it posted a 28% jump in annual net profit to a record $2.1 billion. The government-owned airline's revenue and passenger data from the last year were not yet available. The airline's complete annual report is expected to be published this morning. Ryanair has reported strong demand across Europe and projected that fares will rebound to recover much of the decline that dented profit last year as consumers struggled with high interest rates. The Irish low-cost carrier reported a 16% fall in annual profit for the 12-month period that ended on March 31st. Futures are sharply lower on the U.S.'s debt downgrade. Friday, the Dow Industrials gained 331, the NASDAQ up 98. That's Your Money Now.
AccuWeather says hot yet again, up to 102 in the Western Valley. Right now, low 80s across South Texas. Weather might change by midweek, maybe a thunderstorm. There's even a reference of hail midweek, like Wednesday, okay? Don't get too excited. We still need to get there, but hey, it's written in the forecast. Yeah, I got another one of those cool fronts north of us, kind of sweeping, tail end of it sweeping, creating some interesting weather by midweek. Your station for AccuWeather. It's News Talk 710 KURV. Join us at Radio Para Mi. Download that free app and you can listen and rewind. My friend JP and Jeff over at Amigo Power Equipment. They've got Kubota Orange Day celebrations taking place right now. I invite you to stop by if you need to get some work done over at the ranch at the lease. You got a palatial estate. You got all this acreage. You got to mow. You need the Kubota. They're reliable, and I would say fun, because they are fun to drive. The reliable and fun, dependable, long-lasting Kubota zero-turn mowers that you will find at Amigo Power Equipment, Edinburgh on Monte Cristo. And with the Kubota Orange Days, JP and Jeff will connect you with the always versatile, the RTVs, the Kubota RTVs, the always dependable, number one selling compact tractor in the nation, Kubota. You'll get the Kubota equipment that you need with all the attachments, chop up stuff, or make some fences out there during Kubota Orange Days. Now through June 13th, you can get 0 down, 0% APR for up to 84 months if you qualify, or you could opt for the $3,000 off select compact tractors. It's Kubota Orange Days, being celebrated at Amigo Power Equipment in Edinburgh on Monte Cristo.
Jay Gonzalez, the Valley's top lawyer with over 20 years of experience. Jay Gonzalez is simply the best. If you've been injured in a crash, call 1-800-CAR-CRASH today.
Not everyone who handles your personal information is as careful as you are, which might explain why there's a victim of identity theft every 5 seconds in the United States. Fortunately, there's LifeLock. LifeLock will monitor hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity. And if your identity's stolen, a U.S.-based restoration specialist will fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name, Clay, as your promo code at LifeLock.com. LifeLock, for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
Information on your town and your community.
The Valley's Morning News.
News Talk 710 KURV.
Happy Monday. It is May 19th, 2025. You're in tune with the Valley's Morning News. Show producer Fred Cruz, and we got AccuWeather meteorologist Jeffrey Nordine. I'm Sergio Sanchez, you and family. Nice warm start to the day. Windy as well. Right now, temperatures low 80s. Highs should be around triple digits again today. News on 710 KURV, a service of Jay Gonzalez Injury Attorneys, ready to fight for you. Call 1-800-CAR-CRASH.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. President Trump says he'll be speaking with Russia's president this morning. Fox's Peter Doocy at the White House.
President Trump does not think the war in Ukraine is going to end until he sits face-to-face with Vladimir Putin. So this morning's call is supposed to be 10 a.m. Eastern. could be to set the terms for that. President Trump says also the subjects of the call will be stopping the bloodbath that is killing on average more than 5,000 Russian and Ukrainian soldiers a week, and trade.
The president says after that call, he'll speak with Ukraine's President Zelensky and European allies. Former President Biden is thanking everyone expressing support for his recovery from prostate cancer, posting on X, "Cancer touches us all. Like so many of you, Jill and I have learned that we're strongest in the broken places. Thank you for lifting us up with love and support." He posted a picture of himself and his wife. Biden's office says the cancer is characterized as aggressive and spread to his bones, but sensitive to treatment. America's listening to Fox News.
Many folks in Texas invest in precious metals, and soon, if you're one of these, you might be able to put all that to work.
Instead of cold hard cash, there's a push in Austin to let people buy stuff with gold.
How am I supposed to buy groceries or put gas in my car with a gold bar?
San Antonio State Rep Mark DeRazio is backing legislation that would set up a debit card system that's backed by the state's bullion depository. He says it's a hedge against both inflation and a stock market dive, but the bill faces an uphill battle. The Constitution says states are not allowed to have their own money.
Michael Board with that report. If you like energy drinks and you're always swigging these energy drinks, there is an ingredient found in many of these bottles linked to a higher risk of blood cancer.
Taurine is an amino acid that occurs naturally in parts of the human body and promotes the growth of leukemia cells. It's also commonly found in energy drinks, protein powders, and some foods like meat, fish, and eggs. Researchers from the University of Rochester found that those leukemia cells can use the additional taurine to grow and spread. I'm Michael Kastner.
Uber is introducing a new budget-friendly option for commuters in major cities. The rideshare company unveiled their route share, which allows a user to share the ride up to with two other people along busy corridors for about 50% less than Uber X. And again, they're trying this in major markets. Consumer sentiment fell for the fifth straight month during the month of May. Major ice cream brands are recalling nearly 18,000 containers of ice cream and frozen yogurt due to possible plastic contamination. Both Blue Bunny and Halo Top recalling 22 different flavors across the country. And Madden, the biopic, the late John Madden, has begun production. The movie is being directed by an Oscar-nominated filmmaker. The plot synopsis from Amazon MGM Studios saying the movie is going to follow John Madden from a Super Bowl winning partnership with coach Al Davis and the Raiders to eventually creating Madden NFL and become an icon in football history. A trailer of the Madden movie is in the works. Nicolas Cage will be John Madden, Freddie. Christian Bale will be Al Davis. That's two of my favorites. Yeah, that's gonna be nice. Valley's morning news for a Monday on Radio Para Mi. Download the free app. Join us live, or in case you missed the morning news, you can do the rewind. Radio Para Mi. Download the free app today. It's a very loving thing to do for your family. Think ahead. It is part of life. At some point, the Lord would say, it's time to come home. That's it. And there's a moment of separation. And I want to remind you that the dear friends of mine from Westlake at the Michaela Funeral Home, they stand ready to help celebrate the life of a loved one in the event, that's when the Lord calls them home. But the reason I'm talking about Carla and Mark McCaleb again is that I would hope that you call them and start a conversation about what, for example, my mom and dad did a long time ago. My parents, they pre-planned and they prepaid their funeral event. I found it to be just, I could feel the love and attention to detail and how my parents went and made all these decisions for their only son. Yeah, yours truly. And when the time came, and yes, it was painful, as it always is, right? It made a big difference to have everything decided, all these decisions have been made, everything had been paid for as well. So do that for your family, your immediate family. It's a conversation, Carla McCaleb or a family member from the McCaleb clan. They'll come to you in Brownsville, in Harlingen, McAllen, wherever you are. Have a sit down. You guys talk about all the details related to that event. And, of course, get all set up for prepayment. Carla McCaleb, this is her personal number. Call her, text, and say, hey, Serge was talking about you guys again. I really need to set this up for my immediate family. Carla McCaleb, McCaleb Funeral Home, 956-650-2841.
Look at the rack on that one. You know that buck's been eating Purina Antler Max 20 because it ensures maximum antler growth. Martin Farm and Ranch Supply also stocks a full line of deer nutrition for keeping your deer in top shape. In addition to being a certified Purina feed dealer, Martin sells all seasons feeders and blinds. So remember, Purina Antler Max 20 and all seasons feeders. Your deer can't do any better.
Come see us at Martin Farm and Ranch Supply in Edinburgh. Just look for the horse.
El Pato food is just so delicious. It smells so good. It's beautiful to look at. Oh, and the taste is wonderful. It is our food in South Texas. It's like mom's cooking, like abuelita's cooking. And right now that I know you're hungry, you're headed to work, you know where that El Pato restaurant is. I normally phone it in. You can tell your smart device and give you directions or give you the phone number. Call it in, get a bag full of delicious breakfast tacos patos with your favorites. Maybe you're craving some fresh made flour tortillas filled with some egg and chorizo, potato, cheese, refried bean. Ooh, man, that sounds really good right now, right? Hey, don't forget the big special, limited time offer, served all day, by the way. It is the 2 chicken or cheese enchiladas with that wonderful gravy and that beautiful yellow melted cheese on top that is so tasty. The bean could be charro beans or refried bean. And, of course, the fresh flour tortilla off the skillet full of wonderful fajitas, beef fajitas. It's all for $9.99. The enchilada and fajita pato plate only at every El Pato restaurant across the valley.
This is your news, weather, and talk station. News Talk 710, KURV, and KURV.com.
News Talk 710, KURV.
Your 710 KURV AccuWeather forecast is going to be sunny and breezy with a high temp of 95 to 102, clear overnight down to 80, and then we're looking at a high of 98 in McAllen for tomorrow with sunny sky. For Wednesday, mix of clouds and sunshine gives way to a couple thunderstorms in the afternoon. There could be gusty winds and small hail with any of those. High temperature for Wednesday, 96. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Jeff Nordine on the Valley's official weather station, 710 KURV.
Temperatures already in the low 80s across the valley. News on 710 KURV, a service of Jay Gonzalez Injury Attorneys, ready to fight for you. Call 1-800-CAR-CRASH. NTSB is expected to give an update today on the investigation into Saturday night's deadly crash of a Mexican Navy ship crashed into the Brooklyn Bridge. That accident claimed the lives of 2 young Mexican sailors. Capital One has finalized its $35 billion acquisition of Discover. And the Trump administration, actually President Trump and Vladimir Putin, having a conversation today on the war with Ukraine, hoping to work a ceasefire. Border Bridge wait times on 710 KURV is posted on KURV.com. 30-minute wait time at B&M, headed back to Brownsville, 1 hour at Gateway. Who's busy? Headed back to McAllen right now. It's about 30 minutes at the Far Bridge. It's the only one with some significant traffic. News on 710 KURV. This is your radio station in South Texas for Houston Astros play-by-play. The 710 KURV Sports Desk is brought to you by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women.
I'm Kevin Walker with your TSN Sports Minute.
Tosses it off the chest of Hellebuck. Played to the corner by Pionk. Circling that second to Harley.
Series over. The Dallas Stars defeated the Winnipeg Jets in Game 6 Saturday night and have officially clinched their spot in the Western Conference Finals against the, you guessed it, Edmonton Oilers. Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Stuart Skinner, and co. will face off with the good guys after the Oilers bested the Stars in the conference finals last year in Game 6, winning 3 straight. It'll be all 7 o'clock slates with the series beginning Wednesday night, and the Stars will maintain home ice advantage the entirety of the series. A split set at home for the Texas Rangers after they fell 4-3 last night to the Houston Astros, despite a monstrous pitching performance by Jack Leiter. Texas will get a day off today, but immediately turn to the second-best team in the American League as they play guests in the Bronx against the New York Yankees. Patrick Corbin will get things started against Will Warren with first pitch set for 6:05 tomorrow night. With your TSN Sports Minute, I'm Kevin Walker.
The Thunder heading to the West Finals for the first time since 2016 after destroying the Nuggets 125-93 in Game 7. Game 1 Tuesday against the Timberwolves in OKC. On the ice, the Panthers knocked out the Maple Leafs to advance to the East Finals. In a date with the Hurricanes, the Leafs haven't advanced past the second round since 2002. Scotty Scheffler finished atop the leaderboard at 11 under to win the PGA Championship in Charlotte. That's sports. I'm Ron Tomas.
I'm Nicole Murray with Your Money Now. Diageo, the maker of Johnnie Walker Whiskey and Guinness Beer, launched a plan to save $500 million by 2028 after years of sales declines and lowered the expected hit from U.S. tariffs. Spokesperson Deborah Cruz said the plan will help the company deliver about $3 billion free cash flow per year from fiscal 2026. Final Destination Bloodlines collected $51 million in its opening weekend, earning the number one spot at the box office. The film earned another $51 million overseas for a remarkable global start of $102 million. Spain's Consumer Rights Ministry said it had ordered Airbnb to withdraw more than 65,000 listings for holiday rentals from its platform, saying they violated existing rules. Most of the Airbnb listings to be blocked did not include their license number, while others did not specify whether the owner was an individual or a corporation. Futures are sharply lower. Friday, the Dow Industrials gained 331, the NASDAQ up 98. That's your money now.
Listen to Sergio Sanchez every morning on News Talk 710 KURV and on the Radio Parami app. Stay informed with exclusive interviews from top local and state leaders, plus economic development news, business, and medical reports, and all the local news from the RGV. It's everything you need to know to start your day right. Sergio Sanchez and News Talk 710 KURV on the free